Welcome to the dark side of YouTube, where we listen to the echoes from the dark to uncover the mysterious, the strange and unusual, unsolved mysteries. Subscribe for more echoes from the dark.
In today's episode, I'm bringing you a collection of 5 unsolved mysteries that still give people the chills. Cases that were never explained, and moments that were never meant to be seen. Stay with me until the end, and try not to get spooked. In 2013, a 21-year-old student named Elisa Lam checked into the Cecil Hotel alone. At first, nothing seemed unusual. She was traveling, documenting her trip, and staying in a hotel that already had a dark reputation. A place known for strange incidents, and she vanished without a trace. No calls, no messages, no signs of where she went. It was as if she had simply disappeared. Then weeks later, something surfaced. Hotel staff released a piece of surveillance footage from inside one of the elevators, and what it showed made everything worse. In the video, Elisa steps into the elevator and begins pressing multiple buttons, almost all of them, one after another. But the elevator doesn't respond. The doors stay open. She steps forward, then quickly back, as if she's checking the hallway. Then suddenly, her behavior changes. She starts moving erratically, almost nervously, hiding in the corner of the elevator, pressing herself against the wall, as if she's trying not to be seen. At one point, she leans out and looks into the hallway, and begins making strange hand gestures, like she's communicating with someone. But there's no one there. No one ever appears in the footage. And still, the elevator doors refuse to close. It's as if something, or someone, just outside the camera's view, is keeping them open. The video cuts, and that's the last time she was ever seen alive. Days later, guests at the hotel began complaining. The water pressure was low. The water looked dark. Some even said it tasted strange. That's when maintenance made a horrifying discovery. On the rooftop, inside one of the hotel's water tanks, they found Elisa. No clear explanation, no definitive answers, just questions that still haven't been answered. What made her act that way in the elevator? Why wouldn't the doors close? And the most disturbing question of all, was she really alone? Or was there something just out of sight? To this day, Elisa Lam's story remains a mystery. No clear answers, no real closure. The question is, would you stay there alone, knowing what happened? Number 2. Busby Stoop Chair or Dead Man's Chair has an unsettling history. A spooky seating option you should never ever consider. There is a chair that not even the bravest of individuals dare to sit in. They suggest if you do, you will be doomed to an unending series of unfortunate events. This chair has been at the forefront of numerous ghostly tales for over 3 centuries, and even to this day, remains hidden from curious faces. This famous chair is, of course, the Busby Stoop Chair, also referred to as the Dead Man's Chair. The origin of its haunting story can be traced back to the year 1702, in the quaint town of North Yorkshire, England. It began when a man named Thomas Busby was brought to trial for his heinous crimes. As Thomas approached the gallows, he whispered one final request to the court. Let me just sit in this chair one more time. But before his fateful day came to an end, it is believed he made a ritual curse upon it. A curse that would inevitably attach to anyone who dared to linger in that chair. From that fateful moment on, countless unfortunate events were fallen upon those who dared to sit in the chair. Some were abruptly injured, others suffered sudden illnesses, and some unfortunately succumbed to a cruel fate. The townspeople quickly became concerned, and they were quick to speak of the chair as a deadly menace. As each legend surrounding the chair grew, it became more and more infamous. This is why the chair was taken away from its original location within a local pub, and instead hung high within the walls of the Thirsk Museum, leaving it out of reach of any so daring that they dared to take that seat. Despite this drastic move, the famous curse continues to haunt its legends throughout history. Today, countless people still bewail its ghostly reputation. They feel its chill as they approach the chair on approach, as if the curse itself is still lingering in the air, waiting for the moment when a passerby would dare to take a seat, despite the chilling misfortune that awaits. So, what would you do if you found yourself in that situation? Would you dare to rest in that chair after hearing tales of such terrible consequences? Or would you remain fearless and never return? Maybe this is a chair you should never ever try and sit in. The question remains, would you take a seat knowing its unsettling history? Number 3. The Crybaby Bridge. The bride and baby heard crying at night. There's an old bridge in Maryland, whispered about in towns across America, where the air grows cold at night, and if you listen closely, you might hear the cry of a baby that was never meant to be born. Most people call it simply Crybaby Bridge, but underneath that name is a chilling urban legend shared in nearly every state, a tragic tale passed down through generations. According to the stories, long ago, a young mother once stopped on this lonely bridge late at night. Letters from locals tell of an argument, the baby's cries driving her to desperation. Some say in her grief, she threw her child into the dark waters below, and then disappeared herself. Tonight, the bridge stands abandoned, its rusted beams stretching over cold, silent water. But if you park there, when the wind dies down, many claim you'll still hear the tiny, heart-wrenching wails that echo across the creek. People swear they've heard it. A baby crying in the darkness, faint but unmistakable. Others say they've seen a figure in white on the bridge at the edge of sight, vanishing when approached. Some even report strange handprints on their car windows long after they drove away. Skeptics claim it's just a roadside legend, a story teenagers tell around campfires, but the locals, the ones who have felt the chill under the bones of that bridge at midnight, know that this tale isn't just folklore. It's memory, lingering, waiting. So I have to ask you, if you found yourself parked on Crybaby Bridge after midnight, with the wind still and the water below dark and quiet, would you dare to roll down your window and listen for that sound? Or would you turn the engine on and never look back? Number 4, just outside Altoona, PA, where the roads begin to twist into the mountains and cell service fades into silence. There's a stretch of pavement locals avoid after dark. It runs along Wapsie Mountain, near the quiet bend known as Buckhorn. People who know it don't stop there. They say if you drive that road late enough, past midnight, when the fog rolls down the mountain like something alive, you might see her. At first it looks like nothing, just mist drifting across the road. But then it starts to take shape, too precise to be natural. A figure standing just off the shoulder. A woman dressed entirely in white. Some claim she was a bride, killed on her wedding night in a crash along the Buckhorn Curve. Others say she was thrown from a carriage long before the road was ever paved. Her body never found. Only whispers of her wandering the mountain, searching for something she lost. But the stories all agree on one thing. If you see her, she's already seen you. Drivers who've encountered the White Lady say she doesn't move at first. She just stands there, facing away. Her dress hanging unnaturally still even when the wind's blowing hard through the trees. And then, slowly, she turns. Not all at once, just enough for you to realize her face isn't right. Some describe it as pale and empty, like it's been drained of everything human. Others say her eyes are completely black, or worse, not there at all. And that's when your car starts to act strange. Your headlights flicker, the radio cuts to static, and the temperature inside drops so fast you can see your own breath. A few people have tried to drive past her, because the moment you pass that spot, you check your rear view mirror, and she's gone. But when you look forward again, she's standing in the road, closer than she should be. Some drivers slam the brakes, some try to swerve, but a few, the unlucky ones, say they felt something brush against the side of the car. Not a branch, not an animal, a hand dragging along the metal, slowly, deliberately, like she's walking beside you. And then, just as suddenly as she appears, she's gone. No footprints, no sound, no trace, just the fog rolling back in over Wapsie Mountain, swallowing the road again like nothing ever happened. But here's the part that keeps people from going back. Some who've seen her say the encounter doesn't end on the Buckhorn, because later that night, when they finally make it home, when they shut off the car and sit in the silence, they catch something in the rearview mirror, something that shouldn't be there anymore. A figure sitting in the back seat, still waiting. So if you ever find yourself driving near Altoona and the road takes you up past Wapsie Mountain toward the Buckhorn, just remember, if you see a woman in white standing in the fog, don't stop, don't look back, and whatever you do, don't let her get inside the car. What would you do? Would you stop your vehicle or keep moving? Number 5. In the year 1959, 9 experienced hikers set out on a journey deep into the frozen wilderness of Dyatlov Pass, a place so remote that once you're out there, you're completely alone. They were skilled, prepared, the kind of people who knew how to survive in brutal conditions. But something went wrong. When the group failed to return, a search party was sent in. Days passed, then finally, they found the campsite, and that's when things stopped making sense. The tent had been cut open from the inside, not unzipped, not torn from the outside, cut, as if something inside made them desperate to get out. Their belongings were still there. Boots, coats, supplies, everything they would have needed to survive the freezing temperatures. But the hikers were gone. Footprints in the snow told a strange story. They showed the group had fled the tent, some barefoot, some in socks, walking, not running, into the darkness of the forest, into temperatures that could kill within minutes. Searchers followed the tracks, and eventually found the first two bodies. They were lying beneath a tree, nearly naked, their skin burned and torn, as if they had tried to climb the tree in a panic. A small fire had been built nearby, but it wasn't enough to save them. Then, more bodies were discovered, scattered between the tree and the tent as if they had tried to make their way back, and never made it. But it gets worse. Months later, when the snow began to melt, the remaining hikers were found. These bodies were different. One had a crushed chest, the force so severe it was compared to a car accident. Another had a fractured skull. One was missing their tongue, along with parts of their face. And yet, there were no external wounds to explain the damage. No signs of a fight. No evidence of another person. Just impossible injuries in the middle of nowhere. Investigators were left with more questions than answers. Some blamed an avalanche, but the evidence didn't quite fit. Others suggested military testing, or something far stranger, even more unsettling. Traces of radiation were found on some of their clothing. The case was eventually closed, with an explanation that made no sense. An unknown compelling force. To this day, no one truly knows what happened out there. No one knows what made them cut their way out of that tent and leave everything behind and walk into the freezing dark. So the question is, what did they see that terrified them enough to choose the cold over whatever was waiting inside?
Some stories fade with time, but others stay with you, lingering in the back of your mind, long after the screen goes dark. The ones with no answers, no closure, no escaping. So, if you felt something tonight, if even one of these stories stayed with you, make sure to like, subscribe, and step back and